You ever get that feeling, like a tug deep down, that yearning for home, that sense of belonging, like you're right where you're meant to be?
Absolutely.
But what if home isn't just a place, you know? What if it's more like a state of being, maybe even a spiritual destination?
Interesting.
Well, that's what we're diving into today.
Okay.
President Dieter F. Uchtdorf's speech, A Yearning for Home.
I'm familiar with that one.
Yeah, it's this really hopeful message about resilience, you know? And get this, it starts in a totally unexpected place.
Where's that?
With migrating animals.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like you wouldn't think a speech on spiritual longing would open with leatherback turtles.
No, not
Or
work.
humpback whales, right?
Right.
But he uses these amazing journeys. Like think about Bobbie the Wonder Dog.
Oh, yeah, I know that story.
Traveled over 2,000 miles all alone to get back to his family.
Incredible.
It is. And he uses that, Uchtdorf, to ask this question. Do we have that same instinct, that yearning for home, but on like a spiritual level?
It's a powerful analogy for sure.
It is, especially since animal migration is still this huge mystery.
Yeah, scientists get some of it, the mechanics,
Right.
but there's so much we just don't know.
Right.
Like, how do they navigate those crazy distances?
Yeah.
What triggers their internal compass?
Exactly. Makes you wonder, right?
Yeah.
And Uchtdorf takes that wonder and puts it on our human experience.
Okay.
He asks, do humans have a similar yearning for a heavenly home?
Now, he's coming at this from his faith
Right.
as a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Okay.
And so in that context, heavenly home means being with God, who Latter-day Saints believe is like a literal father to all of us.
So it's not about some far-off place, but more a relationship, this connection with a higher power.
Exactly.
And Uchtdorf says that connection's open to everyone, no matter their past.
That's a powerful message.
Yeah, he even mentions those who have faltered, failed, feel broken, bitter, betrayed, or beaten.
Wow, there's a real sense of inclusivity there.
For sure, it's not about being perfect or having it all figured out, but recognizing that we all long for something more.
Yeah, for meaning beyond our everyday struggle.
Totally. And then he goes on to give two reasons, really compelling reasons for turning to God.
Okay.
First one, he says your life will be better. And the second is you can make other people's lives better.
I like that.
But, better, it's a loaded word, isn't it?
It is. Doesn't mean life will suddenly be problem-free.
Right, exactly. And Uchtdorf knows that he's not saying life becomes a cakewalk.
No.
But what he is suggesting is that aligning our lives with God's will gives us strength, guidance, purpose through those hard times.
I see.
It's about having a deeper sense of support, direction when things get rough.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And he even uses this image of spiritual fruits that come from following God.
Okay.
Love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, and faith.
Those are powerful.
Do you think these fruits, are they attainable for anyone, or do you need a certain level of faith?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that he frames them as inner qualities,
Okay.
not external circumstances.
Interesting.
So they're not tied to your job, your money, your relationships.
I see.
It's about developing this resilience, inner peace that can help you weather anything life throws at you.
So it's not about avoiding the storms, but about how we navigate through them.
That's right.
And he also says God uses ordinary people
Really?
to do extraordinary things.
Yeah, I like that.
You don't have to be a superhero or a saint to make a difference.
I see.
It's about recognizing the potential we all have.
Okay.
And a lot of times that potential's unlocked by serving others, by contributing to something bigger than ourselves.
Right.
That's where the swimming upstream concept comes in.
Okay, let's talk about that.
What does swimming upstream even mean in this context?
It's about making those choices,
Right.
the ones that line up with our values. Even when the world's pushing us the other way, it's choosing the harder right over the easier wrong.
Okay.
Even when it feels like you're fighting the current.
Makes sense. And Uchtdorf uses these fascinating examples from early Latter-day Saint history to illustrate that.
Okay, like who?
He talks about Martin Harris, Oliver Cowdery.
Okay.
They were far from perfect. They made mistakes, had doubts.
Right, they were human.
Yeah, even strayed from the path sometimes.
But they kept coming back.
Yeah, that's it.
They kept trying to line their lives up with their faith.
Right.
Even when it was tough.
And that's where we see home as not just the destination, but the journey.
I see.
It's not about reaching some perfect state,
No.
but that constant effort to move in the right direction.
Okay.
To keep swimming upstream towards something more.
So home is less about a place and more a dynamic process.
I think that's a great way to put it, and that's what makes Uchtdorf's message so powerful.
Yeah, he's not just talking about arriving, but the journey itself.
And it's a journey that's open to all of us.
I agree.
No matter our past, our flaws, where we are right now.
Absolutely. That's a great place to stop for today.
It is. And in part 2, we'll dive deeper into how this swimming upstream idea actually plays out in our lives.
Can't wait.
And what it might look like to let that yearning for home guide our choices, our actions, how we treat each other.
Sounds good.
See you then. We were talking about swimming upstream,
Yeah.
making those choices that match our values, even when it's tough.
Right.
But how does that actually work in real life, you know?
It's so easy to get swept up
Right?
in everything going on and lose sight of the big picture.
Totally.
That yearning for home that Uchtdorf talks about.
Exactly. And he uses those early Latter-day Saints as examples. Like, they showed that intentionality, even with all their imperfections, you know?
Yeah.
They didn't let those flaws or setbacks stop them from being part of something bigger.
Right. They were always trying, even messing up sometimes.
Yeah, that's the point.
It's not about being perfect. It's about the effort.
Yeah.
That constant reorienting ourselves towards that home we want.
And he makes this interesting point, how God doesn't just use the perfect people.
No.
The extraordinary ones.
Right.
He works through our imperfections, makes our efforts bigger, even when we feel inadequate.
Powerful.
It's like, don't let the fear of not being good enough stop you from trying.
Exactly. And it goes back to that service idea, contributing to something beyond just us.
Right, because often it's when we're giving, helping others, that we grow the most.
And find fulfillment.
It's kind of paradoxical, isn't it?
It is.
The more we focus on others, the better our own lives become.
It's a paradox that pops up a lot, actually.
Really?
In spiritual stuff, philosophy too.
Huh.
The more we give, the more we get back.
Interesting.
The more we look outward, the deeper we connect inside.
He doesn't really explain how that works. But he does mention some pretty amazing results.
Like what?
Doors opening, obstacles disappearing, things falling into place.
Wow.
When we align ourselves with God's purposes.
Sounds like tapping into something hidden.
Yeah.
This strength, guidance we couldn't get otherwise.
And it's not about doing these huge things.
No.
Or having special talents. Uchtdorf emphasizes that no matter where you are, right?
In your community, the church, God can use you.
If you're willing.
Right. That's key.
Takes away that excuse of, I'm not important enough, or I don't have the right skills.
It's about willingness.
To contribute, to make the effort, even if it seems small.
That's it.
He brings up those early church members again, talking about all their different backgrounds, talents. Some were farmers, some teachers, some rich, some poor.
A real mix.
But they all found a way to contribute, using what they had to build something bigger.
Reminds me of that quote.
Which one?
We can do so little, but how much we can do.
I love it.
Ties right back to swimming upstream.
It does.
It's a choice we make every day to actively be on this journey.
Yeah.
To match our actions with what we deeply want.
So for our listener, what's this all about?
Good question.
If we believe, Uchtdorf, that we all have this compass inside, this yearning for home, the question becomes, where's it pointing us right now?
Ooh, I like that.
Are we letting it guide us, our choices, our actions, how we treat others? Or are we ignoring it, getting lost in everyday stuff that pulls us away from that feeling of belonging?
From purpose.
From truly being home.
He's not sugarcoating it either.
No.
This journey can be hard.
It takes work, intention, being willing to keep going when it's tough.
He compares it to learning an instrument.
Oh, yeah.
You don't become amazing overnight.
Right.
It takes practice, patience, and showing up, even when you hit a bad note.
And we all hit those bad notes, right?
We do.
Life throws us curveballs, we make mistakes, we stumble.
Does Uchtdorf talk about that?
He does. He acknowledges those challenges, those setbacks. But they don't disqualify us from the journey.
Well,
they can be chances to grow, to learn.
Like, we don't grow when things are easy.
Exactly.
We grow when we face challenges.
And he reminds us, God's not looking for perfection.
He's looking for progress.
People who are willing to keep trying, keep going, even when it's hard.
And he even suggests there might be help along the way.
Really?
He says angels will go before them and prepare the way.
That's a beautiful image.
It is. It's like saying we're not alone in this.
Uh-huh.
That there are things supporting us, guiding us towards that home.
So it's not just about willpower gritting our teeth through tough times.
No, it's more about surrendering to something bigger than us.
Okay.
Trusting there's a plan, a purpose beyond what we can see.
That's a tough one.
It is, but it's about tapping into strength, wisdom that goes beyond our limited human view.
And that's the hopeful part of Uchtdorf's message.
Right.
We're not just lost in a crazy world.
There's something guiding us.
Something loving, pulling us towards something more.
It's a powerful invitation.
It is.
To listen to that inner compass. Figure out where it's pointing.
Yeah.
And have the guts to follow it.
Because the journey might be more rewarding than we think.
Absolutely. It's not just about reaching the destination.
Right.
It's about how we change along the way.
Becoming the kind of people who can really feel that belonging.
Yep, peace.
Being right where we're supposed to be.
That's a journey worth taking.
It really is. And it all starts with one step.
What will your first step be?
We've been exploring this idea of yearning for home.
Right, not just a place, but a spiritual state.
And we've talked about swimming upstream.
Yeah, making those hard choices.
But what does that actually look like day to day?
Well, Uchtdorf doesn't give a list of rules.
No, he doesn't.
He's more about the principles behind it.
Okay.
It's about cultivating those spiritual fruits.
Like we talked about. Love, joy, peace.
Patience, gentleness, goodness, faith.
Letting those guide us.
Yeah, how we interact, how we handle challenges.
So less outward actions, more inward change.
That's a good way to put it. Aligning our hearts and minds.
With God's will.
Right. Then letting those changes show in our lives.
Sounds like a long process, not a quick fix.
He compares it to learning something new.
Okay.
Like a skill, needing patience and persistence.
He used the musical instrument example, right?
Yeah, you don't become a pro overnight.
It takes practice, dedication, and showing up, even when it's rough.
Those sour notes, we all hit them.
We do. Life's full of curveballs, mistakes.
Does Uchtdorf address that?
Oh, yeah. He says challenges and setbacks, they're going to happen.
But they don't mean we're off the path.
Right. They can be chances to learn and grow.
Like they say, we don't grow when things are easy.
Yeah.
We grow when we face challenges.
God's not looking for us to be perfect.
He wants us to progress.
Keep trying, keep moving, even when it's hard.
And there might even be help along the way.
What do you mean?
He talks about angels going before them and preparing the way.
That's powerful.
We're not alone in this.
It's like there's support, guidance towards home, so it's not all on us, just willpower alone.
It's about surrendering to something bigger.
Letting go of control.
Trusting there's a plan beyond what we can see.
It's hard to do that sometimes.
It is, but it's tapping into a wisdom that goes beyond our human understanding.
And that's where the hope comes in.
Exactly. We're not just lost in chaos.
There's something guiding us, something loving, leading us to something more.
He's inviting us to listen.
To that inner compass.
To figure out where it's pointing and have the courage to follow.
Because the journey might be the best part.
It might be. It's not just the destination.
But how we change along the way, becoming the kind of people who can truly belong.
Who find peace. Who are right where they're meant to be.
So to wrap up, what's the one thing you want our listener to take away?
If we believe in that yearning for home, for connection, we have to pay attention to where it leads us.
Be willing to swim upstream.
Make those tough choices. Trust the journey is worth it.
That's beautiful. It's not about just arriving at home.
It's about becoming who we need to be along the way.
Capable of that deep sense of belonging, of peace.
Of truly being home.
And that's a journey worth taking.
It is.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into a yearning for home.
My pleasure.
We hope you'll keep exploring, keep swimming upstream.
And keep listening to that inner compass.
It might just lead you home.